नहीं बट उससे क्या होता है ना कि एक तो आती है amazing ladies. It's my pleasure today to welcome you, and I'm really happy that you could spare time and you are here with us to share your inspiring journey. So welcome everyone once again.
Thank you.
Thank you. It's our utmost pleasure to be here as well.
So today I would actually ask you first of all to start your inspiring journeys, and then we'll have small questions, small queries that I'll ask you, and then it will be simple. Some of you had some queries, so it's just that.
Okay.
So firstly, my pleasure to welcome Dr. Sutapa Pati, class of 2004, M.Des Industrial Design and Ph.D. IIT Delhi. Welcome, Dr. Pati. Our pleasure and an honor that you've joined us today kindly. So Dr. Pati is a mechanical engineer from Odisha and an industrial designer, M.Des from IIT Delhi, Ph.D. in sustainable design again from IIT Delhi. Currently, she is the academic dean in School of Sustainability with courses on sustainable product and service design, sustainable consumption, production, green buildings, sustainable energy systems. And she has multiple years of experience in design and development in Maruti Suzuki India Ltd and Tata Motors. So amazing experience in teaching, research, development, design. So welcome, Dr. Pati.
Thank you so much. And
our next panelist for today is a wonderful past EC member, Miss Aparna Saraogi. Hi, Aparna.
Hi, Gila.
Yeah. So class of 2006, MBA, Technology Management, Head Credit Risk, India, Natwest Group. She has done amazing work, and as an EC member, she is actually credited with starting the V initiative.
Thank you. It's really an honor to be here. Thank you for inviting us, and thank you for these initiatives.
Yes, Aparna. Nice to.
So Aparna is a co-founder, V Foundation, Women Entrepreneurship and Empowerment Foundation. It is India's first of its initiative by IIT Delhi to strengthen women ecosystem. So well done, Aparna. It's amazing to see all the women entrepreneurs you've been able to build up in so many years. And it's always very inspiring, actually, to see the kind of work that you have done in the past few years. So once again, welcome you, Aparna. And our next panelist for today is Dr. Aditi Kapoor, 2009 batch, M.Tech CSE, 2009 and 2017 PhD. Technical Head, North India Vision Systems, Design and Development, Critical Solutions.
Hey.
Welcome.
It's a pleasure to be part of this.
Dr. Kapoor. And the next panelist for today is Dr. Anupam Malik, PhD Electrical, IIT Delhi, founder, CEO and MD at Vizara Technologies Private Limited. So warm welcome, Dr. Malik.
Thank you so much. It's really an honor, to be one. Of course, all of us being IIT Delhi alumni, that's so nice to again, meet up as many people, and then also to be spoken of as a woman in STEM. I think all of us have done that. It's great achievement, guys. And I think we all need to pat each other on the back. So really nice to be here. Thank you.
Yes. And the last but not the least, we have our panelist, Dr. Anusuya Roy, 2013 M.Tech Fiber Science and Technology, then 2019 PhD Textile and Fiber Engineering, founder, CEO of NanoSafe Solutions. So welcome, Dr. Roy. Very impressive CV, I must say. So welcome once again. And you can't imagine the type happiness I'm having today to welcome you all to this 5th session of She Inspires. I'm Dr. Gitanjali and I'm currently the treasurer. So it's like once in a month we have this session, and after each session I get calls and messages and the alumni who actually hear your stories, and they are so inspired to go ahead and get it. So with these words, once again, welcome to your own association. And now to start with the session, I would first of all like Dr. Pati to share her inspiring journey.
Thank you so much, and wonderful initiative. As Dr. Malik was saying, we need to inspire each other, pat each other's back, and all of us have had our struggles, I'm sure, as we stand here today, and a long journey ahead waiting also. And I'm sure together we can make it really memorable and enriching. IIT Delhi has been special for all of us, and whenever I go to see the new startups that have incubated, I definitely visit the building, sit in front of the library building with my dip chai, which is I don't get it anywhere else, and it's really wonderful.
Dr. Pati, next time please do visit the IITDA
Yes,
office and
yes.
please have coffee with us. And
And
we
the
have
necessary
started
small cup of coffee.
smart cards. Please have your cards from the office
Yes.
next time.
So quickly talking about myself, I'm a Steel City, born and brought up from Rourkela. I did my +2 from there. Then my mechanical engineering from UC Burla, which is the government state engineering college here. And after that, I got a chance to join Masters in Industrial Design program. I think that transformed me, the whole experience, 2 years, 90 credits that we did, probably staying all the 24 hours spending in the back studio. Our professors, amount of time that they gave us. And one thing I would like to say is during that time, we didn't realize our professors used to say, we want 1:1 models. So whatever you make, they have to be working and 1:1. That was, I think, at that time it was very difficult, that imagine working models being made. They wouldn't let us make scaled models so easily. And so that is what encouraged me in the field of design. And also, at that time when very few countries in the world were speaking about sustainability, I remember in my Kailash hostel one poster being given, which was, we had a tie-up with IIT Delhi, had a tie-up with TU Delft, so they had an eco design poster. It was a big poster with sunflower and written. That was my also formal introduction to the field of sustainability. So I had put it up in the room, and wonderful exposure that we had, and campus recycling, and a lot of crafts waste work. I was part of the Mahatma Gandhi industrial, rural industrialization program, which was done by CRDT.
Yes, M.
Yes,
Giri,
M. Giri,
yes,
which
yes.
was at that time Miri. So we got to visit different parts of India, and very proud today as teacher to say that our profs at that time, had visited Wardha, visited Gumla, Bishunpur, and the thought was that how can we integrate some technical way of working, yet keeping the ethos of crafts, so that it could better the craftsmen earning and livelihood, and new designs could be promoted. Many international designers also were brought, and in field in Saranpur, where it was led by, I remember, Professor Rajendra Prasad and Professor Lalit Kumar Das and all of them. So, which is, and now when I see the institute up and running, which was called as JBCRI at that time, Birla's, with the idea of Mahatma Gandhi's mission, it was started, then it was defunct, and IIT Delhi played a role in, making it MGiri, which is still working. So being part of that was wonderful, got to learn so much. We at one point of time, I remember in Wardha, there were probably 15 professors, all senior, Professor Sheshadri, and all of them had come all the way down to remote places working with the craftsmen. So that was the time. Then obviously through my placements, I joined R&D of Tata Motors and then subsequently Maruti Suzuki, where I was part of the safety, design and safety for interiors. A very good learning experience. And there I met many IIT Delhi alumni designers, my seniors, and how well they were leading. If you look at Maruti Suzuki, 2, 3 of our alums are there leading the design program. If you see Tata Motors, again, the R&D department has IIT Delhi alums, who are leading, doing very good work. So I really got inspired by the seniors there as well. And after that, I got a chance to do my PhD in sustainable design. Always wanted to be a design professor. So, and I remember when I was in a time whether I should go and join Tata Motors or go abroad, do some PhD. I remember my HOD at that time say that design is when you go and learn there, in the shop floor and all. So Sutapa, please go and join, do some years of work, then do PhD and then teach. And absolutely how correct he was. I was in two minds. It was a big decision. And yet I think my classroom teaching has improved, multifold, because I can speak from my field work there, whatever designs. So I was part of ACE project, ACE and Magic in Tata Motors, and in Maruti, the Tiga, and these projects what we were part of. Today I can relate a lot of it, whether I'm taking courses related to occupational health and safety or designing systems. That has really helped me in my field experience. And 2015 I joined Exam. Exam is run by Jesuit fathers, as we know, but at 2015 also the SDG was ratified in United Nations. So this was the first school which was fully dedicated school of sustainability. So 7 of us core faculty members and other fathers and faculty. It's been a 6 years of journey. We give 4 programs. So PhD in sustainability studies, MBA in sustainability management, and environmental science BSc honors, and one course which is I think only one in India as of now, which is BSc in sustainable development. So it is 6 years and students are spread wide across. It's been lovely journey, and I have come here to give the message of sustainability that please study programs anywhere in the world or India that you get. Sustainability is the way forward, and thank you so much. With this brief journey, I'm over to other panelists, and then I'm open to question and answers.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pati. Wonderful journey, valuable insights. And it's amazing to know that design is considered such a field, and you have some rural initiatives at the backdrop. So you've learned from the experts and you've seen so much, and experiences just too good. So sustainability, design, amazing. So my question to you is, who was your favorite professor and what was specific to IIT Delhi? Something very, very specific that you remember even today, that has made you this person in sustainability,
yes.
A leader in sustainability.
Very difficult to say favorite professor as a word, but I would like to name some of the professors who inspired us in a very good way. Obviously, I did my PhD under my guide, Professor Lalit Kumar Das. Then we had Professor Saumitri Vardarajan, who exposed us to the field of eco design. We had from rural CRDT many professors. Professor Rajendra Prasad was there. At that time, Professor P.L. Dhar and Professor R.R. Gaur, they were leading the discourse on values and design. Then overall ecosystem, we had many professors include, but this is where we got a lot of inspiration and saw them actually walk the talk, do a lot of work. And so we had a very high benchmark set by them. We are somehow trying to fulfill.
So as a woman, you did your M.Des, you worked with the industry, then you had a PhD, and how difficult was it? Like, there are many students who are actually going through this session. So how do you think you can explain them? What were the difficult part in what were the difficulties that you faced, how you came out of them, and your lessons to them?
Yeah. So when I joined mechanical engineering at the early days, there were very few girls who were there. So one of our professors in the class had said that one name they said Renubala Mahanti. She did her PhD mechanical engineering in 1960s. So at that time, professors used to say, that look at her. And by chance, Renubala Mahanti's daughter was with us. So once in final year, I got to meet her. She was a senior official in L&T at that time. So I had expected somebody who would come with, a lot of the first mechanical engineer, probably lady engineer from Odisha at that time. But when I met her, so auntie was so down to earth and all. Then I asked her that as a women mechanical engineer, how difficult was it? So she told me, take that out of your head first when you go into the shop floor. It is your content and confidence. Bring that on board. Once you put that on board, others will, more look at the content and all. I remember facing small things because when internship I wanted to do at that time in an automotive. So Hind Motors, when I went, so there was no lady person inside their plant. So I had a lot of difficulty convincing that, and so at that time also you do find people who actually help you out doing internships. But after M.Des, I saw a lot of difference. I mean, probably Tata Motors is one of the best places for women to work. And, we seniors never made us feel that way. Same with Maruti Suzuki, but on field, women do face a lot of challenges. Um, I don't know how much, each one of us have, I think, an instinct coping mechanism. Uh, and we know how to work around it. Your passion is what will drive you towards, that, and the others, I think we do develop. I therefore agree to what Dr. Malik was saying, that we need to stand by each other, because those, while we are coping, we understand, right, that what the other must be going through. So when my daughter was born, I remember, I was doing my PhD, how my friends around IIT Delhi, I'll give you an example. So there was a workshop I wanted to, here I would mention Professor Chariar, and he wanted, and my daughter was sleeping in the lab downside. There was small mattress, and I was conducting a, workshop inside IIT Delhi. There are many photos of my daughter playing in the field, hockey field, and by the side, because while I would do my work, somebody, some of my friends, uh, making her play there. So these support systems we do need, especially when you have become a young mother and you are, so family and ecosystem around those 2-3 years, just, they need to give us that support. And otherwise, I think women are strong. They know their responsibilities. They have their coping mechanism. They have their wired safety audit in their head. What is, how to maneuver that, and we need to support each other. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Dr. Pati, and a wonderful speaking to you and listening to your journey. So thank you so much, and we'll come back to you with the questions. And now we'll move to the next panelist. So we have Miss Aparna with us. Aparna, welcome once again. Aparna?
Yeah, thank you, Gitashri.
Yeah, so Aparna, we would like to hear your inspiring journey.
Okay, thank you. So I think what Dr. Pati said, I relate to every word she was saying, that we should stand by each other, support each other. And also there are times when we really need a lot of support to go through, because there are a lot of unconscious biasness. This is there, and we are expected to do much more. And similar was my journey. I think I belong from a very, very conservative family. I am the first one who is woman working in the family. So it was never expected of like I'm going to go out and work. So Started my first job with eClerks and Deutsche Bank. I think I was the first woman in their risk team. So they had in the technology, but they never had someone in the risk teams. And expecting somebody, a girl who will come and challenge the deals and all that stuff was slightly tough. But I think I got out all the support from my organizations and started moving up the corporate ladder. In fact, I was blessed to move faster. And then suddenly came a turning point in my life. One fine day, I just it was realization was happening, but sometimes it just happened very strongly that 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 there were a lot of female friends I had in my college and school, but suddenly the number was going down as I was moving up the corporate chain, and that's what something needs to be done, right? Why so many few female managers? Why as we go up, there are very very few women entrepreneurs. And then I did a lot of research, in my hometown, a lot of villages abroad, and something came out very strongly, and which I strongly believe, that today women wants to be economically empowered. Gone are those days that we want to be restricted. We want to step out, we want to follow our passion, and that's
Aparna,
what gives us
since you have headed V, so I would actually ask you, how did that tell us more about the initiation of V and you as an EC member, how it was initiated and what were the difficulties you faced, and then how you were supported, and then you created such an amazing ecosystem. So
Sure.
People would like to hear more about it.
Yep. So as I said, right, it was realization came, and I said, I need to do something about it, right? Being an empowered woman, if I don't do, that's shame on me. That's what I actually, what's the purpose of my life? I need to empower others. And that's where I started thinking, what do I need to do and what is required? So few things that when I did my research, right, with the support of a lot of women from IIT Delhi, like a lot of women entrepreneurs are there, a lot of aspiring women entrepreneurs are there, and a lot of connects are there. Like we have a lot of women entrepreneurs in this panel. I spoke to them. What is that they need more? Very, very extensive discussion I had with aspiring, already existing women entrepreneurs, and I came up with certain things. One thing that came up very strongly was that there was an ecosystem that was completely missing. That, right, you want to be an entrepreneur, it's a very, very tough journey. It's not an easy journey. You'll be rejected more than you'll be, right, appreciated. There needs to be ecosystem, like the way you are creating this ecosystem, right? We can talk about ourselves, right? Similarly, there has to be some ecosystem which has to be there, some mentorship support, somewhere they can find their co-founders and everything. Simply an idea would not take. So that's how I thought that I need to generate something. And we actually, if you understand, it's a journey from me, to we few people, and then we whole women coming together, creating a chain of women entrepreneurs supporting and standing by each other. The idea looks good, but as you know, when you go for implementation, people are going to laugh at you, right? So I would have knocked literally crazy number of government offices, and I say I want to start up this program where I want to stay support women. They say, "Pagal ho gayi, beta bachche aap jao yahan se." Well, literally few of them said this, right? कि अभी आप अपना काम करो, आप बैंक में अच्छा कर रहे हो, don't think about it, you have a full-time job, responsibility, कैसे करोगे? It doesn't work. And literally I said to one of them, now he's a good friend, so very senior, I would do it, right? If you believe in something, it would happen. So what we started doing was we started refining our program. जैसे से हम लोगों से बात कर रहे थे that what should our curriculum be different? Why it should be customized to women? And then it actually became a product which, when we presented to Professor Ram Gopal Rao sir, director, he loved it. He said, this is exactly what we needed. This is the program which can get women entrepreneurs together and allow them to leap forward, right? Help them to find their co-founders, mentors, and everything. So he was the first person to support this program because of the research and the hard work which was gone behind. And when we then obviously, right, when you start, one person supports you, but you need much more support. And that's where I would advise all the entrepreneurs. And I organized the first roundtable conference in IIT Delhi, and that was a support with EC, where we got all the stakeholders, because that's number one problem faced by women. We are not that well networked. We don't have connect to the stakeholder who could be our, right, industry bodies, other entrepreneurs, financiers, customer. I organized the first with the support of EC, the first roundtable with and said, this is a problem statement and this is how I want to solve it. And Gitanjali won't believe it. Moment we were presenting that, everybody in the room raised their hand and said, we want to be a partner, we want to help you out, because it's such a noble cause which can really make a difference in the economy. And the whole EC members, all the support system. They said,
Completely agree with you. I have seen the entrepreneurs you have taken from the ideation stage to where they are today. So absolutely, absolutely inspiring journey. And hats off. And you should share some of the batches if you would like to share
sure.
something very interesting about some of the entrepreneurs there that you had selected. So one or two, if you would like to share.
Yes. I'll share one very good story. So there is an entrepreneur in our batch who works in a village in Maharashtra and extracts a donkey milk and make anti-aging cream, and that's right. And there is another one who makes affordable women hygiene product. We connected both of them. Now these people in rural, right? They make money by selling their milk, and they are able to spend that on hygiene products, and their health index is going. So that's a magic when people come together, create that, help each other, support each other. And I would like to say one thing while we all are there and a lot of people. IIT Delhi is an ocean, and Alumni Association is fantastic, right? Leverage this opportunity to develop. It's a place where you'll get amazing support, right? I didn't have any experience when I started. If I can do it, anyone can do it. Go with your idea, talk to the professors there, EC members there, people there, and you'll find all the support. And I've seen it, right? We are doing few other global events. Again, I've started my new initiative. It's an ocean. It's simply a blessing to be an IITian. If you don't realize your purpose after being in IT, and then I think you get everything there, the support, energy, and you get so many role models you feel. And the best part about IIT Delhi, everybody's ready to help you. चाहे वो top का कुछ भी हो, you call them and say that this is what we need. They'll say, "Acha, let me help you this." So it's a fantastic community, and it's a seriously blessing to be part of this. And we should definitely work together to make this world a better place. And God has put us in that position to contribute.
Thank you so much, Aparna. Thank you so much.
I'm tempted to intervene, Dr. Gitanjali, with your permission.
Please go ahead. I was sure that there's something coming from your side.
No, I'm very happy to hear this confidence. And
So before you comment, I am very pleased to say that Mr. Kalpin Shukla is the president of the Alumni Association, and he actually very strongly supported us to start this initiative. She Inspires. And please, Mr. Shukla, you will not like it, but then people have to know.
Thanks, Dr. Gitanjali. So you have unraveled the mystery of who is this male member in eminent panel of all lady members. So pardon me for that intrusion, but I'm very happy, first of all, to hear that there is such a strong camaraderie which is being talked about. And why I'm intervening at this stage is one, please understand, it's not only say women alumni who need to network. You have the entire whole alumni network to
Exactly.
leverage, and we are in a position to do many things if we structure our activities. And that's one of the small attempts that we have made to revive this. When Dr. Gitanjali mentioned about this series of webinars come meetings under She Inspires. So it actually serves many purposes. One, of course, it motivates and inspires our other alumni members. But two, we also want to convey in a very strong manner that entire alumni association is interested in promoting the cause of women, not just the entrepreneurs, but women professionals who are participating in various activities. And I was intently listening to both the speakers, and at this stage, since the association was mentioned, I could not resist myself from suggesting to all of you that please treat this entire association as your own. And of course, there is no distinction that you go to only women alumni, seniors, or promote women alumni, entrepreneurs, or any such thing. Yes, we would love to put focus on specific activities on specific segment, but rest assured, for any activity that you are pursuing in your career or otherwise, your alumni association can strongly support that activity. So even if it is a social cause, whether it's an entrepreneurial cause, whether it is in research field, academics, I think your association is very strongly placed almost everywhere. So we were ubiquitous, we are very strong, and together I think we stand for a lot of values that we can share with the society. So all the very best to all of you. I may have to drop out after 5-10 minutes. So I have taken the liberty to butt in. Thank you very much, Dr. Gitanjali, and I wish all the very best to all the participants. Of course, I have listened to Anupama and Sutapa, and even I think Aparna also, I have heard her earlier. So all the very best to all of you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kalpenji. And before Aparna concludes, I would like to just add one thing that Aparna, I personally actually have seen some of the entrepreneurs who've been nurtured by we. So I would like to invite you on the occasion of International Women's Day. And if you could actually have a small women's conclave or a startup ecosystem event or anything, you are welcome. And you'll have full support from the association. So please.
Thank you, Dr. Gitanjali. We would love to do that. Yeah.
But let's have a specific session, very, very focused session around International Women's Day. Please, you start planning and please let us know. You have full support from our side. Yeah. So I just actually wanted to tell this to you. Thank you so much, Aparna. Thank you so much for the wonderful work that you are doing and for taking this initiative out of EC, out of the association, and the hard work that you have put in, and you made it into such a wonderful initiative. So hats off, wonderful. You deserve a huge, huge round of applause from all of us. Wonderful.
I think we is a journey of all of us, so we all deserve applause. I think it's a journey where we all stand by each other and just make India known for the entrepreneurship and women entrepreneurship.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you, Aparna. And please do come back to us on this.
Sure.
So with this, we come to the next panelist. We have with us Dr. Aditi Kapoor. So Aditi, you are here?
Yes.
Yes. So very nice actually to see your pleasing face, your smiling face. So please share your inspiring journey.
Yes. First of all, it's such a pleasure to hear, these different aspects and different stories, different but yet so similar. So, and it's always a pleasure to be associated with anything related to IIT Delhi. It was my home. It's been my home away from home for almost 10 years. So, and I remember I joined in M.Tech 2009. And that was the batch where there were a lot more females than ever before. There were 6 of us. The batch was very small. It was around, I think, 15, between 12 to 15. And we became friends for life. We are all still connected and very close to each other. And it was such a wonderful and electrifying experience because you had, these different kinds of, we worked with the best of professors, Professor Maheshwari, Professor Anshul Kumar, Professor Sanjeeva Prasad, Professor Saroj Kaushik. At that time in the CSE department, she was the only woman professor. And it was, she was the only one, but she held her own field in such a strong way. AI. So it was a really inspiring and a pleasure. We would have regular discussions. And then, of course, I joined my thesis with Professor Biswas from computer science and Professor Hanmandlu from electrical department in the field of image processing and AI. So we had discussions with Professor Kalra, Professor Banerjee, and Professor Sumantra Dutta Roy from both departments. And it was such a pleasure to see the amount of effort professors put, not just during guidance, but also in coursework. We would have these open book tests, but at first we were very happy, these are open book tests. And then you go for one and you realize there is nothing there in the books at all. There would be some tests where it would be of unlimited time. You can take as long as you want. Just solve one out of those problems. But it was such a nice way of teaching. We would have those take-home tests with some of the visiting faculties and all kinds of different experiences. The research part was, even closer for me. Professor Biswas, he would always be guiding so naturally and step by step because it was a new field. I had worked in AI earlier, but not in image processing. So he would come down to our labs and say, show me the code. Where are you? What have you done? I want to go into those intricacies. And in those initial days, he would actually be guiding step by step. I remember after M.Tech, I got placed in HP, and it was a dilemma whether I should continue with PhD or join the industry for a while. My dad was very supportive. He was like, you choose what you want to do ahead. So I took a 6 months break wherein I continued research at IIT Delhi, and I would help in the early establishment of IIT Ropar. So I would travel with Professor Saurav Bansal to IIT Ropar every 2 weeks. It was still establishing. We were putting chairs in the labs for the first time. So it was very interesting, but it gave a different flavor of what is happening there. And meanwhile, I would work with Professor Biswas for my first research paper. And I remember in those early days, he would actually tell me how to create an equation from the coding that we have done. And there would be those 3-hour meetings and 4-hour meetings. And it was very exciting in those times. And then I decided to join PhD. And in every one of those days, that walk from the main building to Bharti, there would be a spring in my step. IIT is such a beautiful and peaceful place. It was just a pleasure being there. Whether it was Bharti staying there and working there, or a walk to Nest Cafe to brainstorm with friends, or just walking around would also inspire you with so many different ideas, and you can just go and carry them out. And it also gave me a platform to connect for so many different conferences and workshops. One I remember is in this context, there was Women in Science and Technology, an initiative from GE at that time. So professors really inspired that you should try for that. So from IIT Delhi, I was selected for that. I joined, and then there were different people from all over India in that, and we shared our journey. So after that, this is a similar kind of experience that I'm having. But it was a real pleasure interacting. Some of those people also we bonded there, and then those bonds kind of stayed.
So, Dr. Kapoor, my question to you is, what is your advice to the students who are like right now B.Tech or M.Tech students, and those who would be pursuing PhD research? So you're like a very, very quick piece of advice.
Well, I would say be very clear on what you want, and then just be sure that, if you really want it, things will happen, and you can just continue working hard and it will finally work out. Because what I realized in PhD is, if you can kind of stick with it, and if you can continue your journey, irrespective of how it seems at that time, if you can do that, there is nothing else that you can't really do. So
very, very valuable piece of advice, and I completely agree with you, because we have today out of 5, 4 are PhDs. So completely agree. Many times it's like very, very difficult. It's tough times for the person who's doing and the family. So very, very valuable. Completely agree. Yeah. Thank you so much, Dr. Kapoor, and we'll come back to you. So our next panelist now is Dr. Anupam Malik. So Dr. Malik, welcome once again. And I would now request you to kindly share your motivating journey.
Sure, I think we are also running short of time, so I'll stick to anyway. I mean, thanks for inviting me and getting me here, and I'm sure we'll have many such sessions. And because there are many women who will inspire, and meeting here has been good fun, especially with each one of you, because I think at least Anasya and Aparna I have met, and very nice to meet Aditi and Sutapa here as well, and Gitanjali, of course. you've also achieved, by the way, to be here on a panel with IIT alumni. I mean, that itself is very, very happy thing for us as well. So my journey is that, I actually would look at it that while most of you may have a B.Tech from IIT Delhi, I inspired to do an B.Tech here. I was, a science student. After that, I tried, but I didn't take it very seriously. But I really wanted to go to engineering, line of studying. But I did my BSc in physics from Hindu College in DU. And I remember being just 5 students in a large class of 60 people.
DU, not campus. Yes.
So Delhi University, right, North Campus. And there were probably 5 or 6 of us. And I mean, we were all looking at each other and, wondering that we are the only science people who want to study science or what. And then after finishing, I didn't want to continue, and I did my MCA, Master in Computer Applications, from Delhi University. There, I'm very happy to say that out of a class of 30, we were 25 girls. So most of the people were given an option to do MCA from maths and science backgrounds. And we were in majority. Even now I'm in touch with my MCA group, and we all laugh because there were only 5 or 6 boys, who of course now are grown up men, and we still pull their leg that being the
so women in majority. This can happen in D. Yes, I'm from MH, so that's fine. Yeah.
And after finishing MCA, I had 2 options. My father, who was a professor, wanted me to teach and said, why don't you do PhD? And that time I looked at him and said, why? I want to be on my own feet. I'm going into the industry. So I remember I joined CDOT. CDOT is Center for Department of Telematics. It's one of the, at that point of, so this is, I'm talking of 89, by the way. So in 89, I joined CDOT, which was one of the top institutes in India, which was hiring IITians. And I got to meet a lot of colleagues who were from IITs there. And I really got inspired because I could see that the way an IITian thinks maybe is a different way. I now, having been there, I mean, maybe there is a reason, but of course they have put you through a system which is very rigorous. And I think it's a system more than anything else. The faculty, of course, can be good, can be not so good, but it's the process and the system that they put you in. So this is where I'll come to a little later. So I was in CDOT for 2 years. Even that time, I wanted to start my own company. I was probably always born an entrepreneur. I didn't like a boss. I didn't like set timings. Of course, I always thought that being an entrepreneur means you have a lot of time on your hands. You can work with your own time. Not realizing that being an entrepreneur means 24/7. You have to do what you have to do. You just do not have any time. But that I learned in the 4 years that I ran my own company. I started a software consultancy. I was probably one of the few women entrepreneurs even then in this area, where I would go to people and ask that I can make software, and they wouldn't believe it. I mean, they would look at me and say, really, you can write software and you can really have an application that you can develop, or will you get it developed? So I said, no, I can write code, I can develop a running application. So those 4 years are interesting. I started a company which was quite small, and there were about 4 employees by the time that I stopped that. And that was because, I mean, we worked for Delhi Tourism Department. We created softwares for lawyers. We also created software, retail marketing kind of MIS applications for, retailers like Wimpy. So after that, I was married anyway, and I planned a family. So that was the time when I took a break. So like Sutapa said, that you really need that ecosystem. I was always lucky to have a good family ecosystem support. So having, I had 2 kids in those 4 years, and where I took a break. Then it was my dad, and this is very interesting because my mother was very happy if I was looking after, she was a homemaker. So probably she was all right with the way things were. But my dad said, why is it that you're sitting at home? Why have I, educated you to be a master's in something, and you used to fight me? So why don't you go back to work? So I took up a teaching job. Then I became the lecturer that he wanted me to be. And I was a lecturer at the Guru Gobind Singh IB University. And I must say that is another challenge. So that journey was interesting because coming into academia taught me that it's such a give and take. Because when you teach, your students teach you more, right? And by the way, I had never taught, so I never really thought I would be able to teach. But to be studying and teaching was what happened, because in 4 years, computers and the whole line had gone, to a different level. new, I had to teach artificial intelligence, which I had studied, but to a very different way. So while this was on, I got a chance to apply for PhD at IIT Delhi. I just laughed and I said, okay, who's ever going to, maybe take me on, but will I really get to be doing a PhD? But I was serious enough to wanting to do that because I thought I will make a career in academics again. A PhD is important. It's a degree that you take on. So when I came for my interviews, I was told that your MCA is equivalent to a B.Tech. So we can only take you as an MS. So, and I was applying to computer science mainly because that was my background, but electrical engineering also had vacancies. So I applied to 2 departments. I also remember going and meeting the director at that point of time. I'm sorry, I'm forgetting his name. In 2002 or 3, I really am forgetting, but he was really, really good and supportive. I went to him and said, look, this is who I am. This is what I want to do, but I'm like not really like a student who's 18, or maybe a 20, 25-year-old. I have a family, I have children, and I'm coming here to do this. And he said, why not? I mean, this is the path you want to take and we'll be very happy, but apply to 2 departments. He guided me, the registrar and he both suggested. But there was one prof who actually I met, who they said you should go and meet. And she kind of looked at me and said, no, don't do this because you won't be able to survive. PhD at IIT Delhi is a different ball game. You have your DU degree, you have children, you have too much. I don't think you'll survive here. I think that kind of pushed me to actually apply. So it's always with us, if somebody challenges you, you need to prove it to yourself. So I think that is reason I really took all my interviews seriously. I studied like anything for the interviews. I got through the MS in electrical engineering. And but since I also got a promise that if you achieve certain credits, if you have a CGPA of let's say 8+, then you can convert it to PhD. At that time, IIT Delhi had a program in 2003 when I joined. You could convert your MS to PhD. I'm not sure if it's still there. So then I remember carrying backpacks like my children and coming to IIT every day and attending. So I did not stay. I was a day scholar. I did not stay in the hostels. I had a lot of friends who were in the hostel. But literally they were, people who were half my age, I would say literally, when I was studying with them, going to classes, running 8 o'clock in the morning at IIT. I think, but it was a fantastic experience. It was a very, very, very interesting experience to study again, to have the challenge. And I'm now talking of the system, I realized that outside we have 1 or 2 deadlines. But in IIT, a student has 5 deadlines. If you have taking 5 papers and you cannot tell your prof, can I do your work later? He wants it before the other prof. He said, no, why? I've given an assignment, I want it now. So 5 deadlines ke saath, you can work like 24 hours, but you have to give what needs to be done. And the other thing that I remember is that IIT is a very secure. So I like what Aparna said, and even what Aditi said. The whole environment is so invigorating. It just shows you everybody is so happy, but under pressure, and the challenges that you are presented, you just are cut off from rest of the world, the real world, let's say. But this world itself has the pressures. And the achievements really, really mean a lot because they are your achievements. They are, you're not proving anything to anybody else. And whether you have a CGPA of 5 or whether you have a CGPA of, 9.5, it's just the process which is very, very great at IIT. I, by the way, scored 9 out of 20 in my first minor. I couldn't believe it. In my life, I had never scored less than 75% in my life, and I got like literally, and I died. I said, wow. Then I remember writing a small note to my guide who's taken me on. Professor Shantanu Chaudhary is my guide. I remember writing to him, sir, I'm really sorry, but this will not happen again. But I couldn't crack it. I thought, in DU, we would probably typically mug things and reproduce. In IIT, you cannot do that. You have to think out of the box. So when I took my first minor, I came out and I told the other students, I said, look, this is not what they taught me. What am I supposed to do here? He said, yeah, you're not supposed to, you're supposed to completely do something else. You have to take this concept very differently. So it's good. Okay, sorry. So I'll continue. So 2004, I started my PhD. I took all of 7 years to finish it because I did have a lot on my hand, but I promised that I will do the PhD and I'll make sure I finish it. I finished in 2011. I submitted my thesis. I did get, and working with Professor Chaudhary was that he will not be satisfied with one journal paper. I had 3 journal publications. I had to have conferences, whatever, till he would say, okay, I'm satisfied. So I finished in 2011. I still stuck to, I didn't want to get out of IIT Delhi. I was there as a postdoc. I worked as a project scientist. And it was, again, I mean, a lot of learning experience. We worked with TCS Research, we worked with Samsung. And I worked on a project which finally led to forming of Vizara. We were part of this huge group, which was from all IITs, to digitize heritage of Hampi. Hampi is in Karnataka. So we had to create, 3D technologies, looking at augmented virtual reality, look at artificial intelligence, and apply it to help out the research scientists who were working in the area of, digitizing this. So that project ended in 2014. And 2015, there was a mandate from the PMO that the same work should go on to other monument sites. So 2016, we formed Vizara and I was lucky to get my incubation at IIT Delhi. I was there for 3 years. Aditi, KritiKal was a big inspiration because we all look up to you because we were told this is a success story. Don't look at others. KritiKal was a success story of TBIU. You'll also make it. So I remember seeing your name still there, by the way. When I came, your name was still listed and I said, but they are not here. He said, no, they have moved out now to bigger things. And I've met Dipinder and it's been a very nice experience. So Vizara has been here for 5 years. We work in the space of heritage preservation mainly, but we also are moving to a B2B space of using augmented and virtual reality to, doing many other things. But my passion is why I even started was to be able to work with really looking at, changing the way people look at history. And I'm sure Aparna will have now already started thinking of who else she can connect me with. And I hope her mind is clicking and we can do good things with other people as well. But this is the journey that I would like to share.
Thank you so much, Dr. Malik. Awesome journey. You've been a student, then a researcher, teacher, entrepreneur, so many roles and responsibilities. And it's so good to see you taking all the roles with such a smile and so inspiring. I'm sure many people are going to write to me today, that amazing panel we were able to create today. So thank you so much, Dr. Malik. We'll come back to you once again.
Yeah, sure.
And now we have, for today, we have Dr. Roy, and I am sure that she is the youngest panel member today. So welcome once again, Dr. Roy.
Thank you. Thank you.
I've seen your journey and I would request you now to share it with everyone.
Yeah, sure. So
great student, researcher, and you now have a startup. So please go ahead.
Yeah, to begin with, probably my story would be a bit different from the stories out there. Maybe it would be shorter. And however, I'll try to highlight how IIT has been a very monumental, has done a monumental contribution in whatever I'm doing today. So let me begin the story with my master's, which I pursued from IIT back in 2011 to 13. So 2011 was the first time when I first came to Delhi. So I did my bachelor's at Calcutta University. So that's where I was also born. So I have never moved out of Bengal up to that point of time. And 2011 was that year in which I stepped onto Delhi, and that too at IIT Delhi at Kailash Hostel. So beautiful memories back in those days, and I still remember when I was sitting in a class, first class, being this, I was in this program M.Tech in Fiber Science and Engineering in Department of Textile Technology. So I was sitting in the classroom, and when the first, lecture started, I literally got goosebumps because, coming from that background, we really have to toil a lot to kind of be in that batch of, very premium and very cream of the society students. So it was wonderful. It was exciting. It was one moment in my life probably I'll never forget. The second time this happened was when I was chosen as a DART scholar to visit Germany. So second year of my master's, I was there in University of Stuttgart, Germany, and I still remember that feeling, and that feeling of accomplishment happens when you do something out of your, out of your own, effort and will, and that is kind of the podium that IIT gives also, So they have this IIT DAR Master Scholarship Program in which one student is selected to spend the second year of their thesis work in Germany. So when I first stepped in Germany, I remember it was probably Frankfurt. So I remember, landing my foot there, and I get that goosebumps again. So yeah, IIT has contributed a lot in my journey. So then I moved back and joined PhD in the same Department of Textile Technology, and I took 5 years to complete my PhD, and those 5 years again, hands down, are the best years still in my life. I have enjoyed so much in those years. So maybe not talking about contribution and happiness from a academic point of view, but I have always been that person who kind of loves to do a lot of extracurricular. So I was involved in a lot of extracurricular activities. I used to dance a lot. This is something I really missed in my master's, because I was, shuffling back and forth Germany and Delhi. So I used to be a professional dancer back when I was in Kolkata and during my bachelor days. And when I came back to PhD, I thought this is something that I can, kind of pick up again and try my luck in dancing. And so I did a lot of shows in seminar hall. So even when I pass seminar hall now, and even Dogra Hall, in fact. So when I pass those halls, those memories and those feelings are kind of reignited again, and it feels really, really special. Apart from that, I also was in the departmental engineering society. So that is called the Textile Engineering Society at that point. And at that point of time, again, I was doing PhD. So no other PhD students were actually part of the panel to kind of organize events and that sort, because PhDs are considered to be a little ahead, so they're supposed to focus on their studies or do something meaningful. But I was that person who was the only PhD in the panel, and that was in my second or third year of my PhD, and I was straight the general secretary, nothing less than that. So I used to conduct all kind of events. Did a lot of time wasting stuff. So time waste at other people's.
You enjoyed a lot. I saw your publications, patents, then your company. You've done a lot. Huh? You had a nice time in IIT. I can
a wonderful time. And that 1 year, I think I did not do justice to my PhD. I did a lot of event management and organization. And again, these are traits that will actually help you as an entrepreneur. Entrepreneurship is not only about
one very important thing, Anusuya, before I forget. We have our Alumni Day, Alumni Fest 26th and 27th. You are going to perform for us. Please.
yeah, sure.
You don't have to come to the campus. We'll do it online, okay? Give us 5 minutes, okay?
Dr. Gitanjali, you have no idea. I say yes to mundane things all the time. So don't worry about it.
No, this is fixed. This is fixed for the inaugural.
Sure.
Being done right now.
Yeah, sure. So, so I think that 1 year I did not really do justice to my PhD. I did, like a lot of organizational stuff and like that. And, following that, then there was one point of time when I thought, this is it. Now I'm going to complete my PhD. So that happened, I think, at the end of 2.5 years of my PhD life. So then I started, taking my PhD very seriously. I remember sitting in the library hour after hour, writing papers or writing some scientific, research works. And I used to come back at around 1:30 at night. So I used to stay, I was a hosteler. So I used to go back from library to my hostel. And this is one walk, again, as I think Aditi said, this is one walk that I'll never forget. At 1:30 at the night, the campus becomes beautiful. I mean, it becomes more beautiful at night than in the day. And when I used to walk there every day, it was a completely different kind of a mental space that I had with me. Of course, there were a lot of pressure, but then being in the campus itself, kind of, it radiates a lot of positive energy that we can kind of inculcate in ourselves and do something.
What happens whenever I have this She Inspires session, It takes me 2 hours to come to my ground state. I'm so inspired after hearing. My husband is like, what? And then he is asking, oh, did you go to the campus, by the way? Or you had some event? I'm like, okay, let me come back now to the ground state. So exciting. So completely agree with what you are saying. The night, it's a different world.
It's a very different ballgame altogether. I miss IIT nights a lot, and this coffee and tea breaks at Nescafe. This is something that I definitely miss.
Do visit the campus on 26th.
So so the thing is that I'm still here. I'm still incubated at FITT. But the problem is then, because my home is elsewhere, so I leave the campus around 7:30 ish. So that that 1:30 wala jo feeling hai na, that is very different. So that is something I really do miss. Yeah. So talking about how NanoSafe came up, when I was in the final year of my PhD, and we were supposed to after PhD, 80% to 90% people think about going to higher education, or postdocs, or maybe applying for a faculty position. So I was also in the same mindset, and I also applied for a faculty position, even got it. But then I realized that the itch is elsewhere. So I have. At the end of PhD, I had developed a solution. I had developed a lot of samples, tested it, etc. What is expected of a normal PhD candidate. But the problem is, I found that the fact that these would only be restricted to some articles and papers and patents is something that made me a little uncomfortable, because there is no guarantee if someone would actually take it up and bring it to the commercial level. And you would be very surprised to know I used to work in antimicrobial domain, antimicrobial textiles and antimicrobial polymers. Even today, as we speak, 90% of antimicrobial solutions which is used in the textile and polymer industry today is imported, either from the US or the UK. Although we have vast amount of publications on the same, and there is actually nobody who can take this research. So if you look at research articles, there will be thousands of them, but there is nobody to take this research out from the lab to the commercial space. And that is where I feel that if I cannot do it, being a PhD from IIT and being the cream of the society, if I am not able to translate that, who am I to blame? I cannot point at others and say that you did not do it. It was my responsibility somehow to kind of translate some of the research, because that is what my forte is. And when I started NanoSafe Solutions, I mean, NanoSafe Solutions happened a little after. So when I was in this thought process, I applied to BIG, Biotechnology Ignition Grant from BIRAC. And when I was actually, BIRAC at that point of time, back in 2019, had 3 rounds. So I used to think that each round I will be eliminated. Who will give me? Because the likes of, I used to think that BIG is given only to IIM people. And me having no exposure on management studies, and I frankly speaking, even now I do not know a lot of management terms. So I was totally lost. When I speak, people say you always speak like a research scientist, you always speak like an academician. That business part is not coming out. So I always thought they're going to reject me, and I was very happy. Reject ho gaya, bas try kar liya tha. But I don't know how I got BIG. And when I got BIG, there was this grant for around 50 lakhs for a period of 1.5 years. And that 1.5 years completely transformed me, because in those 1.5 years, I interacted with the industry, understood what is happening in the industry, and tried to implement my solution firsthand. And when I tried to do that, I understood there are a lot of gaps, lot of challenges. We from the academic world do not really think, keeping us in their shoes. So that gap, we have to kind of, make it short and develop solutions which are very relevant to the current industry standards. And somewhere in the middle, we incorporated NanoSafe Solutions, and because of when we were facing the pandemic again, N-Safe masks were launched, which were again very difficult to do in the lockdown times, but we are very happy that we were able to pull it off in a time when there was utter lockdown. I'm talking about lockdown 1, the strictest one, which was there in April, May 2020. Yeah, so this is where, this is how I started NanoSafe Solutions. And my vision is to, my humble vision is to kind of replace those import-based microbials in the present market. We have been trying our best, and we have been putting a lot of efforts to do that. And this is where I feel that indigenous technology as a should be a powerhouse for catapulting India's economy. Of course, women entrepreneurship is always there, but we need to focus on indigenous solutions more than relying on other countries' developments and technologies. So this is, in short, about me and my journey. I hope that we will keep inspiring each other with our stories and narratives. And last but not the least, I would also like to share, during my PhD journey, I also had a baby son. So he was born the same month in which NanoSafe was incorporated. So,
Wow.
so I simultaneously had 2 babies.
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Dr. Roy. So young, so passionate, and it is so wonderful to hear your journey. And I actually, while you were speaking, I could just recollect my time that was spent in the campus. So actually, such a power-packed panel, amazing. And it's like, after listening to all of you, now I am thinking that I have to compile a compendium. Hats off, ladies. All of you are an inspiration, a great grand inspiration to the generation will come. So thank you so much for joining us. And before we close, we actually have an NCR reunion. So those of you who are around, please join us. We are having a reunion in the NCR. And next time, whenever you come to the campus, please visit your Alumni Association office. We have smart cards now. Please have the smart cards. Do stay connected. We have a lot of activities which keep happening. Stay in touch. And Dr. Roy, you are going to dance for us on the inaugural session. And Dr. Kapoor, I am reminded of your poetry book, The Pink Fairy with Iron Sword. So next session, you are going to share your favorite poem from your book. And Aparna, I have already requested you, please, we have to plan a session. It definitely is on the cards, and please stay connected. Let's plan out a session. So thank you so much, everyone. And now, unfortunately, I have to close this session because we have to go out and arrange for the NCR reunion. So thank you so much. Once again, it was great to have you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Stay in touch.
Thanks for organizing such a wonderful session.